Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. It's the weekend edition. We're taking a look at SPX on multiple time frames. We'll look at SPY as well. We'll do like we did in the past and do SPX all the way down to the daily time frame. I think that will virtually tell the story that we need to in order to show what the next moves here are and what the risks are. So I just did a individual analysis video. If you're interested in getting those, it has the full cycles. We have a different setup with our slim ribbon cycles, Fibonacci's, and things like that. And that's $4.99 a month. So join us there if you want to just be part of the Discord. It's 99 cents and comes with Cheddar Flow data and all sorts of good stuff in there. So trade alerts and such. So let's jump into it. All right, we have with the weekly analysis, a constant reminder that we're insanely overvalued in the market at 224, and some even note that we're at about 230% market value to GDP, which is also known as the Buffett indicator, and it has been perfect. Okay, that brings us to about a 2.4 standard deviation from the mean, and that's insane. All right, so the whole point of bringing that up is that we're going to retrace back to the mean. And usually the pendulum swings all the way to the other side to oversold and brings out really good value. So you can imagine what that actually means. It means recession. So what kind of recession? It could be bad. All recessions are bad, right? But some of them, people were calling this a recession over here, 20-some%. All right, we're talking 50 plus. If you go on to NDX or the Qs, you have an 80% breakdown. Okay, so we are in a rate cut cycle. It's starting to mature, and so that's another reasoning for us to be cautious here, highly cautious, in my opinion. And what we'll be looking at as we go into the different time frames are we have a big head and shoulders that it looks like it's setting up. And also an ending diagonal that broke down, and now we're back testing. So again, the Discord, we have our cheddar flow in there. My favorite part of cheddar flow is the dark pools. And we've been constantly so make sure you hit that notification bell. Every day we've been doing this analysis. We won't do it on this one of SPY. So we get down to that 65 minute and we have the dark pools, and price has been hitting each and every one of those dark pools and bouncing back and forth and giving us solid trading platforms. I really, really am glad that we brought that onto this platform. So coming up, Catalyst next week, it's just fun-filled, all right? You have your tech earnings, which really takes off on Wednesday. You have 3 different tech earnings coming onto that after the bell. We have FOMC right before at 2 p.m., and then, just bringing out political awareness. Trump is out there, tweeting about tariffs and all sorts of things. The government shutdown has started to cycle around on X this weekend. So geopolitical, I should say. And so anything can happen at any time. And I think this week is going to be very, very violent. And that sets up exactly what the charts are saying. So make sure you stick around. This is also in the big picture. This is known as a Wyckoff distribution. It's number 2, and it's shaped just like what happened in April. And we can kind of view that as well. And for this week, we're looking for plus or minus 100 points and 113 points, unbiased to the upside or downside. Clearly, I'm biased to the downside, but the options market is not. So big moves, that's around the average of what we've been. I think that's starting to rip apart. Last week, really, and we'll look at this again, last week really sort of gave us that clue that, we had 80 some points or so in a short week. The upside or downside. We not only surpassed that to the downside, but came and ripped back up to the upside, giving us a total of probably over 200 points movement. So that's great trading environment. So the structures, we're not there yet. We're like I said, in that ending diagonal. I think we've started wave one, and then intermediate wave one as well. And then if you're bullish, we're in this new setup where it's not a wave four, it would be a 1-2 setup, meaning that we finished wave one and we're correcting into wave two. Okay, so here's our look from a monthly time frame. We have our 1929 top here. We have two lows in the 30s and into the 40s, and that's where we made our parallel connected to 1929. It just misses 2000. We were using a trend line. I still have that on a weekly time frame. We were using that trend line for historic highs here, and we surpassed that. It came into the April highs, the January to April tariff tantrum, and now we can start digging in here. But we're right at that high right now. So the former trend line that I was using tagged 2000, tagged 2022. All right. Now we've surpassed that, and it makes total sense with this parallel that we're now creating. All right, and here's the parallel. You can't tell me this isn't valid. All right, whether we get above it or below it, it's valid. Price rejected 1, 2, 3 times, and so far the fourth time here, even though the month is not over, we're getting really, really close. So maybe we come up with another doji. Maybe this week is pretty violent and we head to the downside, but we have our last week in the month here. So we'll be keeping a sharp eye on that. Now, on a bigger scheme of things, here's a possible head and shoulders here as well. We need to see what price action does. This is just a kind of a layout and to see if we do get bearish, what might happen here. Nothing is just perfect like this. This could be with the way things have been, this could be just a straight line down. It could be more choppy. Who knows? All right. But as you usually get into bear markets, it begins a little choppier and then starts to dramatically drop. And you can see that here's a kind of setup, your 1, 2, 1, 2, and then it really starts to rip. And this one was a little less dramatic, but this is because this is an A wave where the correction is choppier, all right, until the end, which you have an impulse. And then you have a B correction, and it's a flat pattern, and then you have your C impulse. So it makes perfect sense why this one is a little bit more sharp. Anyway, going on a tangent there, hopefully you can learn every time that we do something and talk about it. By the way, there is if you're new to technical analysis, we might be skipping over things really, really quickly if you want to be aware of patterns such as the head and shoulders or triangles and things like that. I'll tag a book that I read again over vacation, just a reminder to go back to the basics, and it's really easy reading, and it's a very affordable book. It's just over, I think, $20. So it's a great way to start your technical analysis. Okay. All right. So on the weekly, no, you know what? Let's look at an indicator here. Just to show anybody that's new here, we're working with negative divergence. Okay. We're starting to roll over in the slow stochastic. And then we had the negative divergence on the MACD. We're going to look for in the higher time frames for confirmation with the red histogram. We don't have that yet. But things are just forming. Remember, we're at all-time highs here, so clearly this isn't going to be negative. Going to the weekly. And looking at the same thing, but now we can look at, we don't have to look at the moving averages. They're all up. Well, sorry, might as well, because we're holding on to them barely. All right. And then we have our DMARC. And so I do think that we're starting a 9 count to the downside. We'll see if that works out. We did have our 13 exhaustion here. And as we talk about all the time, these aren't perfect. We don't always get perfect highs off of here. Moved a little bit higher, but the setup is there. Just like the low, the 9 is actually higher. The 8 was the low, and then we continued higher there. So kind of an opposite reaction there. All right, looking at the set up with the RSI. We have negative divergence that still needs to play out. We're starting to roll over on the stochastic, and again, there's divergence there as well. And we want to see this cross over that 80 line. Right now, we're right above it. And now we're still in bearish conditions here with the red histograms on the MACD. As we made new highs, we're diverging. All right. Now, my MACD looks a little bit different. So MACDV, if you're in the Discord, there's education on that as well. Go into the daily. On the daily time frame, here's what we've been working with each and every day. Here's our possible head and shoulder pattern. This also could be an Adam and Eve. And so very similar to this distribution we had back here in January going into April. We have that same kind of look. You have your peaks and then you just barely eke out. You form this wedge type price action that gets tight and then breaks down. So no back test on this one really. Right now we're back testing, which is I think happens more often than not. And then I think our target will be somewhere in this range. It could be a horizontal target of 65.50, but you know, these line up well for a pivot. So we could very well hit down here to 6,500 or so. Okay, but what we want to see is the structure. It's a 3-wave structure so far, and you could argue that we had higher directly from this point. I would say if you're bullish that we still probably have an ABC into a higher degree A, and then we just had our B correction, could go just a touch higher, close that gap, and then you get an impulse down for a C, and then you're looking for a higher low into retracements. Okay, so if you take your retracement tool, you should make it to the 50-60% retracement. And your key level, it could go lower, but you can't breach the it looks like November lows. So you want to kind of hold this 6,700 area, even down to 66, right around there, and make a higher low. That would give you a leading diagonal for a 1-2 setup, and you go much higher. Okay, so that you can never cross off those bullish opportunities. I get it, but with all the divergences and everything working the way it is, I think your probability is that we continue lower. All right, so that's that. We can look at, so the moving averages, we're fighting with the 20 and the 8. We're looking to roll over, in my opinion. I do think we go just a tad higher to close the, but with all the news and stuff coming, we could gap and go, you know, Monday, tomorrow. I'm not sure how the market's going to open, but we were looking at a tiny look at yesterday's or Friday's video. We have a little triangle right here that could pop us up to close that gap, and negative divergence once again. Stochastic starting to roll up here with that bounce. I think it's going to be more of a downtrend, so we'll keep an eye on that. And it happens really often to where you can view the RSI and or stochastic in such a way where they're almost like trend lines. I know that a lot of people do it in the Discord there, and they do share that. And so thanks, you guys. And so if we start to break out or break down from, let's say, this equilibrium here, that's where you know, obviously the price action is going, but you'll be able to see these breakout or breakdowns. All right, and we're in bearish conditions here with the MACDV. You see we have the red histograms. We already crossed over. We actually had a nice move off of there, creating some damage falling out of that wedge, and the histogram was pretty large. And now we're back testing. That blue leader line is back testing the yellow MACD line. All right, the McClellan summation, that's super important to us on. So I customized mine. All right. And so I have the extreme bearish and the extreme bullish scenarios, and those have worked out wonderful in the past, and these divergences show weakness in the market. You had these negative divergences all the way through right here where we made that new peak there. All right, so you see it's strengthening a bit, but you know, it's got to prove itself if we do pull back a little bit. And by the way, this was caused by the mid and small caps, so I get why it's getting stronger here, but we'll see what happens. If it does break back below this bull bear pivot, I think we're gonna start dropping fairly dramatically there. All right, so there's your actual 2000 and 1929 trend lines that we'll be watching as well to see if those hold. If those do hold again, especially this purple one here, maybe you have an opportunity for new highs. All right. And anything else I want to show on here? No. If you're just keeping it simple, you got a wedge, you got a breakdown, back test, and we're looking for lower prices, whether you're bull or bear, in my opinion. And so I think that's where we're gonna leave it today. I'm trying to think of anything else. I set up this list for a reason, right? Oh, okay. So yeah. So here's our options expected move, and you can see those expected moves here. And what happened last week was we had a smaller options expected move. You have the upper edge, and I do these manually each and every week, and I give these out to individual members. You can get the SPX on our regular analysis and SPY, but all the other names that I have out there, I give to you in a separate video. So here's where the week ended before, and then we had that on Sunday into Monday, we had that, I think it was tariff talk or so. We had the gap down and go. So you see this is the lower edge. We ripped through that just on the get-go. And not only that, we almost made it back to where we started. Huge move. So let's call it 69.40 to 67.90. I mean, that's over 100 and about 150 points just in that, and almost a trip all the way back around. So there's plenty of trading here to do to make money. We hit those trades. We're doing great. We're back in our shorts, loaded back in, and we'll be looking for rejection somewhere right off the gap here, if not on a gap down today. So 69.40 is going to be very important. And I like using these options expected moves to just see what price is doing. This has really just gone nowhere. If you put a straight line through this each and every week, I mean, yeah, you see volatility, but we've gone almost nowhere from 6,800, 6,850, wherever you want to put your line. Boom, 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 boom. This is a consolidation, whether you like it or not, even though it's moving up. I think NDX shows it a lot better going sideways, but we haven't gone anywhere. All right, that's a consolidation. Do we break out or break down? We should know by next week. All right, have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.